And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time, Victoria 3 as Qing. Right now we've successfully delayed the Opium Crisis. Although, we're trying to get a bunch of laws passed before we become recognized. Once we're recognized, a lot of the things that would stand in the way of basically make the country better will be fixed. But once we recognize, we also... Oh, and once we're recognized, we won't be able to have the Opium Crisis. We're trying to skip the Opium Crisis here. But also, once we get recognized, we won't be able to do law commitments, which is what we're trying to do here before we get recognized. So Russia can't help us with our current problem. Unless we want them to get us off of Canton system. They could help with that. Assume the French still don't like us. And it's because they want us to be a subject. Which should go away. Because we physically can't be their subject. We're too big for that. But AI isn't always the smartest tool in the shed. We have worked out that we can probably still get them around to bribe them to stuff. Interventionalism... It's only minus 100. The problem here is they don't want investment rights. I really want to give them investment rights, but they don't want it. So the ideal thing to give them isn't on the table. Get up to 55 with a bribe. And an own obligation. That might be close enough. They want anything from our market. Iron, but that sounds like that's going to bite in the butt. Tools is likely to bite in the butt. But the French don't like us anyway, so I suppose I could give them stuff that I don't think is going to hold. Yeah, this isn't too bad for a 5-year transfer. We're not using the iron yet, we're not using the tools yet. And if our private market builds those to try to meet the trade with France, that's fine. Sure, see if the French will accept that. French are accepting that, okay. In which case, from transition or tradition to interventionism. Again, there's no opposition to this. So, what's likely to happen from a result is 70% is debate, 10% is success, 20% is advance. Advance is likely to move us towards getting more success and more advance. So as long as we don't get bad debates, we can improve. Okay, time to do... I'm just making so much money, I'm tempted to actually do more construction. Do another 5 construction. In Shaanxi. And then we'll go back to government admin. Because I like to be consistently spending money here. Like small amounts of money. That's where we want to be. As we improve our tax revenue by building these government admins. Once we have empiricism and inventionalism, we'll move over and get public education. And then I might move towards trying to get recognition. Of course, that technically needs colonization, right? So that would be what we'd be grabbing then, is we'd be grabbing colonization. Which may complete for us automatically. In fact, it's expected to complete for us automatically. Although part of moving towards recognition would be getting the market opened, which should probably do anyway. So that's probably what we'll do next. Well, after public school. So it's intervention, public school, open the market. That's an interesting flag for the United States. What did you do, United States? You became a dictatorship. Why? Canada some ideas. Set up a paper import. That's actually been modified. Oh, I should change my government. We don't need literati in charge anymore. We need them for one thing. They did their thing. Yeah, we needed them for one thing. They did their thing. They actually currently like us, so we're going to say learn brevity and get out of government. I don't think we even need the rule of folk in government anymore. Also. Yeah, in fact, they support things we don't like. So, kick them out of government as well. What's that government looking like? Maybe not bring the bourgeoisie in? Yeah. Okay. I guess this is a righteous government. That'll help make loyalists and suppress radicals as a result. And apparently all our buildings are built. Okay. Obviously I still need more government admin. Sichuan and Fujian. Slowly working our way through improving our government administration. So we maxed out approval of the British. It's good to know. Let's pull out into China. Hopefully it doesn't break our rivals. Move to North Germany. See if we can get... Hopefully the Germans don't, like, hit us. Because I need to swing public schools off of someone. I guess someone on our market has built a road. We can't yet, so I'm surprised. Okay, I need to keep more government admin up. Well, they're getting pretty close to being where we want, at least in the traditionalism world. That probably won't hold when we're done with traditionalism, but... So I think it was Fujon's that last one. You're the next batch. And the next batch is going to be Southern Ennui. And then probably want to actually start building paper. Empiricism. Okay. So we're going to be ready to do the public school swing. Oh, colonialism isn't done yet. Don't think I actually want to take it. Pharmaceuticals down in 2, so it's probably not worth doing that. So we're probably going to leave public health care until we get corporatism. Let's try to get the line infantry. So we've got a big investment pool, which will start being able to actually spend faster. Once we have interventionalism, this will have half the construction pool instead of a quarter. Okay, we've completed the construction pool, so it's either going to be paper. Category by category, probably. Food would be valuable, paper would be valuable. We're going to want to do engines, but that's when we're going to be building railroads, I think. Yeah. Okay. Oh, and we're that's because we're importing food. With the food being expensive, okay. So let's do another 5 construction sectors. And then after that, we'll do some paper. And probably a food factory. Like 10 paper mills somewhere. Where is it expecting the highest earning? John. Well, that might not be for all of them, to be fair. Let's try maximize economy scale. Let's go Sichuan. So 8 in Sichuan. Do 2 in High Bay. And then we'll do a factory. We got none anywhere. So this one we will literally put where it's most profitable. Just in Jin. Okay. Yeah, there's interventionalism. Again, Canton system healthcare, what we need to get off of. Well, no healthcare. Well, not healthcare, education. I don't think Russia can help with education. They could help with the trade policy. Yeah, no on the education. Russia is cautious. I think I can work with that. Can you help with education? Yes. For investment rights. An obligation and give some money. Or do I want to not know the obligation? Yeah, let's not owe the obligation. It's like 6,000 a week. Yeah, close enough. Okay. So for the next 5 years, we have a bonus to doing public school, but no opposition to it. So that'll make it easy to pass. Extra teachers. Oh, we can take throughput malice. This is such a small one, it's only 4%. Take the 4% instead of 8%. Paddle steamer, okay. So in theory, we're now getting the spread on the mandatory service. The question is, do I want to come off of that? Something else I want, why that's spreading. No, I think we really do want to rush into line infantry, so we can get all the military upgrades to line infantry before the Middle East and Southeast Asia become foreign. So there's colonization, boys and girls. Try not to piss anyone off. What was I thinking about next? At the event, and something else fire at the same time. So Cotton Gin's about to finish. Oh, colonization gave us interests. So declare interests in more places. Oh, it gave us one more interest. Thought it was 2 for some reason. 1 maximum declared interest, 2 colonial affairs. Fair enough. An infamy generation against unrecognized powers if you're not an unrecognized power. Okay, so we can see what we need to earn recognition. So to advance, we're not going the warpath, which we're not planning on doing this time. We need literacy above 40%. Offer embassy is probably how we're going to do it. So really we need to avoid negatives. We need to go off of serfdom, we did that. We need to go off of feudalism, we did that. We don't have outlawed dissent yet, so we don't have to worry about that. We need to get off of isolationism. And then we've got gross domestic product is above 30. Fact, it's first. Like that's probably in advance. Yeah. The math is working out that we're okay. So if we fix the literacy, which is what we're doing right now with the public schools, fix isolationism, and then just get a bunch of embassies, this will complete pretty quickly. Which is kind of the plan. That's what we want to do. Cotton gin, so if we had cotton plantations, that'd be good. Once we get line infantry, we're going to come down here and try to force down to railways a little bit faster. Just implement some punishment. The armed forces are reasonably happy. Although I don't want to... We'll take advanced inactive speed. Make the enactment speed lower. So we're building there. And where's the paper? Over there. And then after that is the one food industry over in Shenzhen. probably actually isn't worth moving road maintenance to. Although I do need to build more government stuff. Yeah, we're close enough to the taxation when we don't want to build more government admin there. Which is what we're back on the bar of doing. Yeah, we're not gonna bother road maintenancing. Because there's one building. Okay, the French have stopped seeing us as a potential subject. It gives us options. Options that we'll probably take advantage of. Either we'll use them to get on to one of the other trade laws. That's not good. Bit of failure there. We need to go up, not down, guys. This is our one opportunity to do this. Okay. Twitch chat is saying more power on why US became dictatorship, possibly. I know this might be a loaded question, but between CK, EU, and Victoria, could include Hawaii, but I don't see you've posted a video on it. Do you have a preference? Depends upon what I want to play, honestly. Victoria 3 is probably... And this kind of hurts me to say. Victoria 3 is probably the least polished of the four you just brought up. But I do like the economy aspect of it. EU4 obviously is the most polished, is probably what I'd say. CK3 looks good, but for some reason I like CK2 better than CK3. And then Hoi's not a bad game. It's been a real long time since I played it. The problem with Hoi is it's got like 3 runs before getting a bit repetitive. Unless you're playing the miners, really ahistorical. Okay, so we got Jack the Ripper, which isn't super great. But yeah, it's probably a toss-up between Victoria 3 and European Assaults 4. Okay, so we got that tech completed. Want to get line infantry, which we're going to have the spread helping us here. And then we're probably over to protection. Okay, they've withdrawn from that, so that gives me a claim on taking it back. Because the Americans don't like us. Probably because they want stuff off of us. Although the French are much more agreeable at this point. And then I haven't played EU5 yet. I haven't even actually seen anyone play it, to be fair. YouTube hasn't been doing a great job of recommending videos associated with it. Yeah, whether that's no one plays on the YouTube, or YouTube doesn't recognize that I'd be a person to be interested in watching those videos is unknown to me. plenty. Let's celebrate. We won't do the soul. It's not a living one. Come on, guys, gotta pass public schools. Twitch is saying, because I mentioned polish. I know you're interested in EU5, but it would not be then make sense to wait on EU5 until there's more patches or even DLC. Until more patches or even DLC comes out to pick it up. Considering it's a streamer, YouTuber to post videos that people might be interested in, or simply an entirely new game if you want. So the thing that lures me to EU5 is it looks... And maybe this is the fact I haven't seen anyone really play it. It looks a lot like Miyu and Taxes, the mod from EU4. Like, made to run and polished. And Miyu and Taxes is a very interesting mod. It's got a lot of rough edges because it's a mod. And it's not complete. That's probably the way EU5 kind of looks to me. Having not played it, and actually not much many people play it either. But yeah, it's kind of... The eco side of it also sounds like it would tickle the same sort of itch that Victoria 3 would. But the reason I have pulled it off on buying it, I haven't picked up EU5 yet, is I haven't seen it played, so I don't know the level of polish. Lots of DLCs before I know the level of polish is actually more of a turn off than a turn on. I'm not really waiting for DLC. This can be seen by the start of the run here on Victoria 3, where I don't have all the DLC for Victoria 3. Mode of communication, cholera. Okay, so we got modded sewage. And new games can also be quite expensive, yeah. Which, as I'm actively looking for work, is one of the things where I'm trying not to spend money. Unless it's something I really, really want. Land Reformer, not really interested in bringing you on board. Although you wouldn't be very miffed, so that'd probably be a fine one to bring in. Yeah, we'll stick that in. Yeah, hoping public school sorts itself out. Trying not to hate the Americans, but the Americans are making that hard. The American dictatorship is making that hard. I'm still surprised how quickly they fell into dictatorship. Conservative forces are strong. Ottoman Empire is apparently one of the great powers right now. So we got 7 to play around with. Once we get our laws sorted. Okay, the French are withdrawn from the one about interventionism. Okay. Let's check up the British one, because the British could withdraw as well, and we don't want them to. So it might be time to renegotiate that one. Yeah, it's no longer binding, so we wanted to renegotiate this so it's binding. So the British don't abandon it. Yeah, we'll just make this binding for another 5 years. We want this binding so the British don't pull out of it until we get to be great power, so we don't lose the investment rates of the British on us. Okay, so let's move you to High Bay. That's not what we're working on right now, construction-wise. Oh, the Portuguese pulled out of theirs. Okay. So, apparently they... kind of on board with not having treaty points anymore. Can I have my treaty port back, then? Oh, needs to be a little bit more than that. 5,000? Yeah. Okay, we're down one treaty port. That's fine. I don't think the Americans are going to be quite so agreeable with giving the treaty port back. I would buy it back from them if they were willing to give it back. We do need someone to have a treaty port on us to end one of the crises. Yeah, 175. Ooh, there would be hard. Just because they don't want like things like investment rights, which are things we're really willing to give. Yeah, no, we're not going to be able to buy it back. At least not in the current state. But yeah, usually when it comes to buying things, new games, the new game, cool, tempting me to play it, sort of thing, is usually the way I temper that is I don't pick it up until I'm ready to play it. I got a little bit of a backlog of stuff to pay through at the moment, which has been what's keeping me from playing or picking up and playing EU5 without seeing other people play it to know that it's got the level of polish I want. I haven't been that tempted yet. And part of that's because I've picked up recent DLC for Old World, so that's what I was playing yesterday. Victoria 3, we picked up some DLC. I didn't pick up the stuff that was like super brand new, so we don't have the Balkans content. The Balkans content for us, so we'll just stay away from the Balkans until I pick that up. But we picked up the rest of it, so we've got the India content and the prestige goods. And I also picked up Strategic Command World War One, which will probably get another Let's Play in the future. I probably at least want to play from the Entente side. We just finished up the Central Powers recently. Apparently need more construction. So my base done, we'll go ahead and move the decree over to Beijing. Let's put that before the government admins. in the speed up because I'm a little bit less distracted by Twitch chat for the moment. Get things moving. There's public schools. Okay. Okay, then I'll look the... We haven't invested anything there, right? No. That can get delayed. Whoops. We had invested stuff there. Well, that's been cancelled. Okay. Oh, and what I want now is we want to get off of Canton system. There is going to be some opposition to moving off of Canton system, especially want to move to free trade. So we really want protectionism. Is there any great power we have contact with that will support moving to protectionism? Your mercantilism. That's the fallback, I think, if we can't get protectionism. You do protectionism. And now that you don't hate us anymore, you'll do investment rights. Okay. So then we just need to buy the difference, like so. Okay, that entered into force for 5 years. So we need to get this done in 5 years. Twitch chat saying, envy that you can do that. I have many games that I've never even installed, let alone played. So what helped or worked for me was just stop playing games entirely for almost 8 years. Just watch streams, watch VODs. Part of that is I feel so guilty with my time. Did you play Civ 5 or 4 over 1,000 euros? Could have played half and did something productive instead. Well, to be fair, most of the games I've played was in the process of getting a PhD in material science and engineering. And it was mostly my way to de-stress from getting a PhD. So some of that was, well, something was going to happen, going to need to be done to de-stress. And video games is cheaper than drinking or smoking or any of the other possible vices. So in a way, it saved money. And yes, it does eat time, but that time was going to get eaten by something, I suspect. But yeah, I'm kind of the opposite. One of the reasons I sometimes try not to watch streams and VODs is it tends to make me want to buy the game that I'm watching. Which in a way is probably a good thing I haven't been watching any streams associated with Opium Crisis 5, because I probably then would have wanted to buy it. And I've got a backlog of stuff to play through. Whoops. One too many there. But yeah, I'm not sure how much I've played of Civ. I think Civ 4 was back before I had it on Steam. I do now have it on Steam, but most of the hours of that would probably have been put in before I got it on Steam. Was that Civ 3? Not sure. One of the two. Great Britain broke the treaty. Great Britain broke the treaty. We had a treaty to stop this, Great Britain. We're gonna skip this. Why did they break the treaty? Well, now they're belligerent, so now we're stuck with it. So we have to do something. Which means I need to get something to keep the British from attacking. Defensive Pact... Probably because I did something with the French. They probably didn't appreciate the French. Already owed them obligation. Can I get enough? 61. You know, tariffs on something. Their luxury clothes. Okay, I don't think they're going to make enough money sending to me. Tariffs on anything else? Paper. Yes, please. Send proposal. Okay, so we got a defensive alliance from the French. Hopefully they'll keep the British from attacking us. And... Predictions broke. Darn. Oh, that was just a setback. Okay. In Twitch chat saying, "Didn't you just make the treaty?" It's like, yes, we just made the treaty. It hasn't been 5 years. Well, we renegotiated the treaty for 5 years, additional 5 years. So they broke it during the renegotiation. So in theory, they got infamy for that. Okay, we got line infantry. So the combination of line infantry and the French should keep them from attacking, hopefully. Okay, I'm gonna need to get the army dealt with. Not gonna be a better way to do it, probably. So usually I find the quickest way to merge the armies. If you delete armies, they merge into the closest army. So in our case, we got 3 stacks of armies, and I'll find those merging into super stacks. Deleting the armies, so that it's decorated as is not appropriate. Twitch chat saying, do other nations get notified where a treaty was broken? Like, can you find out what kind of treaties England and the French have between each other? I think I can find out what kind of treaties they have between each other. I can't... Well, I don't think I get notified if they break them. Right, so I can come in, say, diplomacy, the treaty section. I can see that the French have a treaty with Portugal, with the United States, so on and so forth. So they get an alliance with the Americans. You have alliance or defensive alliances with Austria and Prussia. They have a defensive alliance with the Ottomans, so on and so forth. It's easy to check the treaties. But yeah, you don't necessarily need to get notified if other nations break them. Or if you do, it gets lost in the notification spam this game has. Okay, it's in the middle of deleting armies. Let's finish doing that. Basically gonna merge the armies into 3 stacks. And then we'll get those stacks upgraded. That way, if I get actually declared on by the British, we will be prepared. So 1 general there, 4 generals there, 4 generals there. That's all we really need. Upgrade the infantry, upgrade the cav. Upgrade the infantry, upgrade the cav. And I'm gonna have to obviously start building guns. And then we promote these guys. Which of these do almost? Solar Defender actually isn't a bad choice. Because it's mainly stop naval landings. Oh, they're all Solar Defenders. Makes this an easy choice. And the other big army. Experienced Dimensionalist Strategist. Okay. We may want to go to the offensive once we're recognized, but we're not recognized yet. So yeah. And then guns. Can do the opposite of tariffs on that, please. The import tariffs. Just make it rain. Oh, because I got isolations, we can't do that. That's a little bit of a problem. Okay, I have to start making guns. I will be able to do that after protectionism is done, so I need to get protectionism sorted, which is a little bit RNG here. Once protectionism's done, we should be able to very rapidly get to the point where we're progressing instead of declining. On earning recognition. The French like us enough, so the French should give us recognition once we get that 100%. Oh, Can the British actually declare on me? That's a slightly different question. Relations, British. Yes. The Opium Crisis did piss them off enough that they could declare if they wanted to. Okay, the arms industry is at least doing good. I suppose that's something I haven't checked in on the entire game, is what is our buildings looking like? PM-wise. Most of them we're not going to be able to upgrade, because they are what they are. Oh, only show me the local, please. So we had tools, we don't really have that yet. That's something we're going to want to do once we really start to focus on the economy. Okay. So we actually have 4 gun makers, so we can make some guns. Make a decent number of guns. That's probably an industry that was languishing why we weren't gun making. Yeah, we'll want to expand that. That's probably all in Beijing. I remember where the gun makers were. Yeah. Okay, so that's actually going to be more infrastructure than Beijing has, but we'll do that. Follow that up with a port for some more infrastructure. And then, do I have the decrees in the right spot? I have one of them in the right spot. Get the other one in the right spot for the next thing, which is Beijing. Okay. Yeah, we're going to rapidly modernize the military, which should help with raise the prestige, and to make people less willing to pick fights with us. And by modernizing, we're still out of date in the new modern... The new modern military is still going to be out of date. Because it's line infantry instead of skirmish. That's what the British is probably using. But we'll compensate with the numbers. Okay, so the opinion with both people that don't like us is improving. There's the lathe. Okay, after that we want to go... Probably mechanical tools into atmospheric engines. Well, that's... It's tempting both ways. Yeah, we'll do mechanical tools. What we want to do is we want to complete atmospheric engine to accelerate railways. The journal entry should be that. It requires our minds being productive. Come on, protectionism. There's no opposition, so I'd like you to complete. Oh, I suppose the base advance is only twice the base success, or base success. So the fact we got 10% more success did not increase advance. Just reduce debate. Browsing speech. I want this done, so I'll take the 15%. Apparently I think they'd accept that. Sure. Let's not piss the Russians off yet by denying random things. Artistic expression. 7%. We don't actually empower the literati. How's the gun demand doing? Pretty good. So when we're done with these construction sectors, I think we'll be happy enough. We want to reduce the dependence from the trade center, so the trade centers can go do other things rather than the guns we need. Favor the bourgeoisie. Probably want that one. Then living took a massive drop due to the Opium Crisis. Citizen Association. Almost 10%. Yeah, so we're about to get rid of all the things that are stopping us from earning recognition. Literacy rate's about to go over 20. Protectionism's about to go away. Or isolationism's about to go away. There we go. Any other law changes I want to try passing while I am not the major? Interesting. There's actually support for doing frontier colonization. Do want to try to do frontier colonization. That would probably allow me to grab the bit that we got next to Dynam here. But also open some options when we do become a power block. Sure. Can I sway someone into giving us that? No, they prefer no colonization. We want investment rights off of them. Once I'm done doing all my laws, we're going to do investment rights probably for embassy. We want to do that. On basically every major, we can get away with it. Thinking about it, I'm likely to only get... Oh no, the Russians will help with this. Already given them investment rights, haven't I? When does that wear off? No longer binding. Okay, so let's withdraw from this. Because it's no longer binding, we can go ahead and offer investment rights for it. And trade privileges. There we go. And then we can get 30% towards frontier colonization, no opposition. So that should fly through pretty quickly. I would have to bring is it the rural folk that are in support of it, or who's the... Oh, I could get up to 30 from locally. So I could bring the rural folk and the petite bourgeoisie in. Probably only the petite bourgeoisie would make sense. Yeah, not the rural folk. Leave the rural folk out. Take a contested government, which would be fine to have temporarily. That'll make that much easier to pass. And as soon as that's passed, we're going to go around and try to really speed up earning recognition. And yeah, I need to get back to trying to balance the budget, probably by raising tax revenue. Whoops. We got something lowering our popularity. The Emperor is bad, and... Oh, I don't need to be suppressing bolstering those groups anymore. Get those points back. There we go. Okay. Try to keep the budget reasonably balanced. Romanticism. Although I say that as I'm about to make the budget worse. Yeah, frontier colonization would be pretty fast. We got success in advance, basically. Oh, I know where the influence went. Isolationism was providing influence. That makes sense. We're no longer in isolationism. But yeah, as far as the Opium Crisis, we wanted to fully skip it. We kind of screwed that up. Well, the British screwed it up. Because they actually took their investment rights off of us. Because we were literally trying to give them investment rights to postpone the Opium Crisis until it wouldn't farm. So in this case, we're not going to skip it, because apparently we're going to succeed without fighting them. Okay, we've got enough We're now gaining recognition every month. Yeah, as soon as we're done with frontier colonization, we're just going to bribe as many of the great powers as we can just to get recognition done real fast. I need more tax revenue. Okay, that temporarily fixes the problem. It's going to piss everyone off, but in the meantime, the gold reserves aren't going to... They're about as low as I want them to go. The head of the, Oh, it's one of the army guys. Okay. You can lose opinion, or you can get authority, and... piss off the faction. We'll piss off the faction. Well, I say piss off the faction. Make the faction weaker. I want to do diplomatic play. I really want to say no to this. It's probably better to say no than to say yes and then don't do it. So we're going to say no. Okay. Looking at the time, I should go ahead and put a part break in for YouTube as we've come up over just a little over an hour. If you're watching on YouTube, there will be another part up tomorrow. I'm going to record a full 4 parts here. So we'll be a little bit under 4 hours for the whole stream. The first part was interrupted a little bit by the dog, so it'll be a little bit shorter, but we should make it for in the other parts. I hope you've been enjoying. If you're watching on Twitch, feel free to hang around. I'm going to check up on the dog and take a quick stretch, and we'll be back to recording. So until the next part, wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part, and bye for now.